Well, President Obama is pushing for a major overhaul of this country's healthcare system. But some critics say what Congress is starting to craft looks an awful lot like socialized medicine. So we turn now to Canada, where we are hearing stories from patients like Don Neufeld. Don was suffering from a potentially fatal heart condition. Listen here.
After a year of trying to get a consultation with a cardiologist under the Canadian single-payer health plan, he was told it would take another 8 months. Then would likely come another waiting list for treatment.
The wait list here, and thinking of waiting another 2 years for surgery, and what I was going through, my business was going downhill. It just wasn't worth the wait.
Well, Don ended up crossing the border to come here to the United States to have surgery in Oklahoma City, and he joins me now by phone. Don, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Wow, your story, I read it and I saw the video online and couldn't believe what you went through trying to get a heart condition, a serious heart condition, corrected up in Canada. Now, that's a government-run system. You had to wait a year just to get a consultation with a cardiologist. Meantime, you have AFib, you're sitting at home, you're getting heart rates of 200 beats per minute. So you wait a year of finally getting to get a consult with a cardiologist. And then what did he tell you when you finally saw him?
Well, after finally getting that far, it'd be at least a 2-year wait to get an operation to fix the problem. So
that's 3 years of a potentially life-threatening condition that you would just have to sit in your living room and deal with.
Yep, that's right.
Is there an explanation provided by the doctor when they tell you this in Canada? This is you, by the way, just so our viewers listening to you know.
The explanation really is they don't treat it as life-threatening. They figure they can treat this condition with drugs, and yet if you're intolerant to drugs, you don't have much choice. You have to wait. And
are they frank about the fact that it's a cost issue?
Yeah, not really. They don't really come out and say it's money. It's just time. It's a matter of waiting.
You know, the statistics in Canada are really staggering. Nearly 60% of personal income taxes are required to cover the cost of the health care program up there. There are waiting lists to get on the waiting lists. The median time to get referral to a specialist is 17.5 weeks. That's the median. That's basically, you know, if you're lucky, that's how long it'll take you. And so finally, your doctor tells you another 2.5 years on the waiting list, and you decide, forget that.
Exactly. Yep. We headed south.
What happened when you got to the United States?
Well, we went to the Oklahoma Heart Hospital, and we were treated just unbelievable. We were told there that we had a life-threatening condition and that it should be fixed right away. And I mean, we were in and out of that hospital in a matter of a few days, and the atrial fib was repaired.
So the American doctor disagreed with the Canadian doctor that you could sit around for another 2 years treating this with drugs.
Yeah, basically, he said the longer you wait, the worse the condition can get.
Don, do you think you would have died if you had not crossed the border and come into the United States for treatment?
Well, it's a good question. I'm not a doctor, but I tell you, I sure wasn't feeling good, and things weren't going good. They were going downhill.
How did you afford it? Because I know, obviously, if you come across here, you're going to be paying out of pocket.
Well, I'm lucky that I could afford it. I'm self-employed and have some successful businesses, and I was lucky I could afford it.
Is it strange to know that even though you can afford it in Canada, that's not an option for you because of the way the system is set up? You can't just go and pay for it.
No, exactly. It is strange, and I feel that a health system, in order to be working properly, you should be able to get timely access to the health condition, to the system, and we're not here.
You know, for Americans who are worried that our system may move closer to yours as a result of reforms that are now being debated in the U.S. Congress, what warning, what thoughts do you have for them?
Well, I tell them to be careful before they make any decisions on what they're going to do, because a national health care system sounds great, but if you can't get access, it's no good for nothing.
How are you doing now?
I'm doing great.
Good. Let's hope it stays that way, Don. All the best to you. Thanks for coming on and telling your story.
Thank you.
Incredible story. And it makes you wonder how many Canadians every year die because of the health.
Because they're sitting on some waiting list.
Right.
To get on the waiting list. I said this earlier this week. You can wait as much as 30 months for neurosurgery in Canada.